this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am bringing you another in our series from Oahu today. This is picking up with our additional visits to the Polynesian Cultural Center on the second day that we were out there on the kind of northish shore on the Windward side of the island. And we're going to do some cute borders today, and yeah, I was just going to mat some photos and make two little borders on the outer sides of our 2-page spread, and then I changed my mind this morning, so let's see how it all pans out. I hope it all works the way I want it to. We're also going to do some mixed media today, so hopefully that's something that you enjoy or enjoy watching, and then maybe you will try for yourself. All right, let's check out what's in my workspace. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and you may recognize the right-hand side of the last page that we did in the Oahu album. This is looking back at Laie from Laie Point, and we're going to then travel to visit a couple of more well-known sites in Laie, and those are the entrance to Brigham Young University of Hawaii and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Temple, which is right next door. And so that's what's going to go on these next 2 pages. But I wanted to show you a really cool way of framing this that I thought would be really fun. So we're going to try a couple of new things today. I got out my template. This is the, I think this was the Tropical Summer or Tropical template. And you can see that it's got the lovely hibiscus flowers, which Hawaii is known for. I made this flower right here using this template and these pens. Not the green ones, of course. I just use these 3 right here. But the green ones are just in case I get motivated to do something different. Oh, excuse me, here I go burping again. I think it's a nervous thing. I really do, because I wasn't burping at all before this. And I haven't had any soda, so that's not the culprit this time. At any rate, I'm going to walk you through how to make these. We're going to make a few more of these, and I'm going to make this one so that I have a journal bubble to put on this, and I'll show you how I do all that. And we're also going to use our decorative trimmer to make a frame that's going to go all the way around the outside of our 2 pages. So hopefully that's all going to come to pass and work. And so this is the decorative trimmer we're going to use, and probably this edge right here, although it's possible we might use this one now that I'm thinking of it. We haven't used this one much in this album, so we might use that one. At any rate, let's get to work on some of these flowers. So you just need a piece of white cardstock, and you can see I'm using the back of my automobile paper packs flag sheet from that paper pack, because this is cardstock. This was an older pack, and so back when the company used to go ahead and give us cardstock for the title portion of our paper packs. So I'm just going to use this. This is photo safe paper. It's just CM white cardstock, and so you can use it with no issues. I'm going to just put a little bit of repositionable adhesive on the back of my template. That way, when I position it on my cardstock, it's going to stay where I need it to stay, and I don't have to worry as much about it shifting. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down, and you can see it's stuck to the paper. Now, when I made this flower here, what I did was I used these makeup sponges. These are great for this kind of a design. And I'm sure that if you've seen artists create with sponges before, you kind of know where I'm going with this. But you're just going to take the dot tip end of these dot tip pens and just put a little bit of the ink right on the end of this sponge. And then we're just going to work from the center of the flower out. And so I'm just going to kind of dot it on there and kind of push it out from the center. And you really don't want it to go too far. I had a lot of ink on this when I started, so you can see that I've got a lot of ink on my paper already. But we are going to go ahead and use this kind of peachy color. I didn't put the titles of these colors on my pens. I probably should have, but I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to the end of a new sponge and then keep pressing out with the color. And you really don't want it to be solid. You want it to be kind of shady, kind of a shadowy color. And so this is really what I'm going for, not so much this, but I guess you could call it nerves or something, but I just stuck my sponge on there and didn't really follow my own instructions. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more color just to balance that out. Then I'm going to use yellow. And so if you've ever colored with pens, like we've all used Crayola markers to color, you know that, if you have a darker color and then you try to use yellow on top of it, it doesn't blend well. Things are not going to turn out well for that yellow. The yellow is going to take on the other colors, which is very true, and that's true in this instance as well. So that's why I leave it for the edge of the flower. And if your ink is sufficiently dry, then you don't get as much transfer of the orangey colors to the yellow area. You want to still draw from the center of the flower to the edge of the petal, and all those colors will blend together. These little dots up here on the stamen, you just kind of have to push down your sponge into those so that they all get color, and then we are done. And so then what we'll do is we'll come in with our scissors and just cut around the outer edge of those petals, and then we can use this as an embellishment for our page. So I'm going to do a few more of these and then just fast forward the video for you. Okay, so as you were watching me, this one, I was not careful enough, and I got ink on the journal area, which I don't really want to do, so I'm going to try this again and just see if I can manage to not do that. Because I only want the color, this color, on the flower. I want the journaling area to be a different color. So what I'm going to do is take some Post-it notes and try just sort of covering up the area beyond the template so that I don't get the journal box area inked. I don't want that. I don't want to get the journal box area inked. I just want the flower covered right now. So hopefully this will help keep that from happening. Oops, I need to put my... Okay, so I'm adding the yellow just to this corner. Hopefully that will help as well, because then I can concentrate that color a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm just going to remove the, not the template, but I'm going to remove the Post-it notes, and cute. All right, so now I'm just going to cut these out, and we'll be able to use them to embellish our page that we're going to create here in just a second. Okay, I'm going to use one of our custom cutting blades to go ahead and cut this circle around the edge here. Now I could use the red blade with around the outside of the small template, or we could use, oh, that's not going to be, yeah, I would just use the red blade. I'll grab the red blade. We're going to be really careful not to cut into our flower. And I'm going to just line this up carefully so that it's centered. And we're going to just start this. I'm going to start it a little ways away from the flower. And I can come in with my precision point scissors and cut the rest of the design, or the rest of the flower out. But that will make sure that I have a perfect circle. And then I should have grabbed these when I was cutting that other flower, but that's okay. You can cut and leave a little bit of a border of white. When I cut those other flowers, I did not leave a border of white, but you can do that if you so choose. It's completely up to you. Going to cut around these outside petals. And then be happy with that. Right. Okay. I'm not going to take the time to cut all of these just now, but in the final photo you'll see that they are all cut and used to embellish our layout. So let me go ahead and proceed with the layout so that we can make sure this is going to work. Alright, so stick those up there. We don't really need them just now. And I'm going to move these sponges out of the way because we don't really need them just now either. Alright, and these guys are just going to kind of scoot up here. I think I like the look of the one that I cut the center of the petals out better than that one, so I think I will do that on the individual flowers, but I think I'm going to leave that just like so. Okay. Now what I'm going to do for around the edges, as I mentioned before, is I've pulled these two pieces of kind of teal colored paper and this piece of kind of basket woven paper. I've used it on another layout in this album series before. So we're going to use these two pieces to create the outside border. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to just use this border right here, the one with a little bit less of a wave. And I'm going to use my grid and come up here so that to the line that is just about covering the wave with the more swells on it. So I'm going to center my paper and make sure that I am right on that grid line. And then I'm going to close this up. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and find, and I'm going to use a post-it note so that I make sure it's the same for all of these. So I want to find about, let's see, there's 1 inch, here's 2 inches. So I want the 2-inch mark. That's where I want to start. My cut is at the 2-inch mark. Okay, and then I'm going to stop my cut down here at the bottom at the 2-inch mark. So I'm going to find where the 2-inch mark is here. Each of these grid squares is 1/4 of an inch, in case you're wondering how I'm able to determine where the 2-inch mark is. I just count. 4 squares is an inch. So 8 squares plus the square on the end, which we don't count because we're centering our wave, right? So this is where I'm going to stop my blade. So I'm going to scoot it down here and I'm going to do my best to start it right at that 2-inch mark and then slide it down till I get to the other 2-inch mark. And much of this is eyeballing it, so Don't worry too much, but I'm just going to do just the 2 inches on that one. Then I'm going to line my paper up exactly the same way that I did before. So on the line just below, you can see how my paper doesn't go all the way to the low point in this right hand swell, right hand wave. Okay, I'm going to bring my blade back up, find the spot where I stopped cutting, and then I'm going to go all the way to the edge. Okay, so there we go, there's that one. Now I'm going to flip my paper upside down, and I'm going to do the same thing but on this side. What to do? I was way off in my guess there. Okay, so just lining that up again so that it's centered. I'm going to bring my blade up here. I didn't cut quite far enough, but that's okay. I can cut the rest of the way with my scissors. And I'm just going to come across there. Alright, so now I'm going to bring my precision point scissors in here and go ahead and cut this the rest of the way. Same thing here. I'm just lining it up, keeping the paper flush with my scissors so I'm not getting crazy, and just trimming that piece out. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this other piece of paper so that we have matching ones. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of paper here, and I don't think it really matters which side we use. We are going to cut 1/4 inch pieces of this, matching the wave. So I'm going to center. I'm going to center my paper so that it is one block to the right of my cutting channel. Okay, and just make sure it's straight, and following that cutting channel, or following that grid line, one block to the right. Okay, then we're going to move it up one to that same spot on either end, and the center swell should also be on that line. And because I like to pull my blade, I'm going to slide it back over and come back this direction. Okay, so now we've got that. We're going to slide this forward again. And we're going to make 6 of these if I have enough paper. Hopefully I have enough paper. Oops. Scoot that over there. Line this back up again. There you go. Now this layout has taken a little bit longer than most of my layouts do, but I think it will be worth it. All right, so let's check this out. Let's go ahead and assemble a portion of this. Just going to go like that. I'm going to flip this over and go ahead and add my adhesive. I'm going to pick that little bit up and move it over here. Then this is going to go along our outside edge. So I'm just going to line this up. I'm actually going to bring the center, this piece to the center and line up the bottom as I bring it over. Then we'll smooth up this side and then smooth out the top and over. Okay, so there's that side. And we're going to do this side real quick. Move these off my page. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing, only in reverse on this side. So line it up in the middle, line up the bottom, smooth it out, up and over. Okay. Get rid of a couple of these little things that are distracting me. If they're distracting me, I'm sure they're distracting you. Okay, So now what I'm going to do is take these pieces and we're going to add them and kind of weave them together. I like the lighter version rather than the dark that's on the back. So we're going to place these on here, and I'm going to go maybe a ½ inch away from the edge, roughly ½ inch. Okay, goes all the way across. Then we're going to do the top. About roughly the same distance, about ½ inch. Across. And we're going to take another one and we're going to go up the side. Like so. It's a little bit long on top, but we'll trim it. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Alright, now we've got our journal box, which we're going to add on here. We've got our pictures, which are going to add a lot. Alright, so I want that one for sure. Probably want this one, which I can cut down to a 4x4. And that's a postcard, which is kind of cool. This one, I think, would be okay without, because we have this. So then we're going to do BYU over here. All these flags that fly out in front of the main entrance to the university are symbolic. They represent all of the countries that have students at BYU Hawaii. So very cool. I'm going to cut this one down a little bit and cut this one down a little bit. So let me grab my trimmer. We will see see. We can make this one into a 4 by 4. And we can trim this one down into a 3 by 4. Or 3 by 6, actually. So we'll do like so. All right, so this is the, oh, I forgot to trim this one. Let's trim this one down. So we have this in a 4 by 4 also. And that will go there. Okay, now I feel like I need some, maybe some green or some yellow. We could mat this in. All right, so I feel like it's fitting to go ahead and use daffodil yellow since we have daffodils in these pictures. At least I think that's what these are. They might not be. They might be hibiscus or something, but we're going to use yellow. And we're just going to mat a couple of these. We're not going to mat all of them. So we'll mat this one. And we'll mat this one. Okay. All right. Now we'll get these put on here and embellished and be done. except for the journaling, of course. Now we're going to add our flowers, which will bring more color in to the corners, and probably right in here somewhere along that line, and maybe one or two down here. So I will show you those when we get to I'll post a picture of that at the end when I do my editing, because this video has already been way longer than I wanted it to be. Alright, so I hope that you've enjoyed watching me put this together today. I hope you've learned something. I hope I've been able to share some inspiration and shown you some fun ways to use templates and your pens and your decorative trimmer and various things. It's fun to try new things, and like Noreen says, ask yourself, what if I do this? What if I do that? And you'll come up with some really great new things for your albums. At any rate, I hope you have many more creative moments, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.